why paying off credit card debt should be your cone priority. Let's get honest for a second. How does it feel to carry credit card debt? With yourself. Does it feel like freedom? Or does it feel like a heavy weight strapped to your shoulders, pulling you down every single month?
You know, that sinking feeling when the bill comes in the mail and you're staring at a balance that never seems to shrink no matter how much you pay. That's not living, folks. That's surviving.
And I'm here to tell you that you don't have to live like this anymore. It's time to take control. It's time to draw a line in the sand and say, no more. Paying off your credit card debt isn't just about getting rid of a bill. It's about reclaiming your life and your freedom. Let me tell you why this is so important. Credit card debt is like quicksand. The moment you step into it, it starts pulling you under. It's designed to keep you stuck. The average credit card interest rate in the United States is somewhere between 18 and 25.
Think about that for a minute.
That's not just high. It's outrageous. If you're only making the minimum payments, you're not paying off your debt.
You're just renting it. You're lining the pockets of the credit card companies while you stay trapped in a cycle of stress and frustration.
And the worst part, you're paying interest on things you bought months or even years ago. That $1,000 vacation you put on your card 2 years ago, you've probably paid for it twice over by now, and you're still paying.
It's time to stop letting your hard-earned money go to waste. And let's talk about the impact this has on your life. Carrying credit card debt isn't just a financial burden. It's an emotional one. It steals your peace of mind. It keeps you up at night, worrying about how you're going to make ends meet. It creates tension in your relationships, especially if you and your spouse aren't on the same page about money. And it holds you back from doing the things you really want to do, saving for retirement, traveling, or even just taking a deep breath and feeling like you're in control. The longer you let credit card debt stick around, the more it chips away at your future. But here's the good news. You don't have to stay stuck. You have the power to change your story starting today. The first step is making a decision to stop living with debt and start taking action. This isn't about blaming yourself for past mistakes or feeling guilty about where you are. This is about looking forward and taking responsibility for what happens next. It's about saying, I'm done living paycheck to paycheck. I'm done giving my money to the credit card companies. I'm ready to take back control. That's where the journey begins. And let me tell you, once you start, something incredible happens. You start to feel hope again. You start to believe that maybe, just maybe, you can do this, and you can do this, and you can.
But let me warn you, this isn't going to be easy. Paying off credit card debt requires sacrifice. It requires discipline. It requires a willingness to change the way you think about money and make decisions that your future self will thank you for. You might have to give up some things in the short term, eating out, shopping sprees, or that subscription you never use. But every dollar you free up is a dollar closer to freedom.
And let me tell you that freedom is worth every sacrifice. Imagine what it would feel like to wake up one day and know that every penny you earn is yours to keep. No more minimum payments, no more interest, just peace.
This is your moment. This is your opportunity to take control of your money and your life. The question is, are you ready? Are you ready to stop letting debt dictate your decisions? Are you ready to stop giving your money to the credit card companies and start building a future you can be proud of? If the answer is yes, then let's get to work. Because freedom isn't free, but it's worth every penny. Let's do this together. You've got this. Let's go.
Why credit card debt is dangerous and why you can't afford to ignore it now.
Let's get real about credit card debt. It's not just a financial inconvenience. It's a ticking time bomb for your future. I know the credit card companies make it look so harmless. They tell you it's flexible spending or a convenient way to manage your finances. They offer you rewards points, cashback, and travel perks, wrapping it all up in a shiny package that makes you feel like you're winning. But let me tell you something. Credit card debt isn't a tool. It's a trap. It's a trap designed to keep you in a cycle of minimum payments, sky-high interest rates, and constant financial stress. And if you don't take it seriously, it will rob you of your peace, your dreams, and your freedom. Here's how it works. Credit card companies want you to focus on the short term. The buy now, pay later mentality. They want you to feel like you can afford anything because the payment is so small. But what they don't want you to think about is the long-term cost. Let's say you have a $5,000 balance on a card with an 18D interest rate, and you're only paying the minimum payment each month.
Do you know how long it will take you to pay off that balance? Over 20 years.
And do you know how much you'll pay in interest? Thousands of dollars?
Money that could have gone toward your retirement, your kid's college fund, or even just a vacation you could actually afford.
Credit card debt isn't just expensive. It's designed to keep you broke.
But it's not just about the money. It's about the impact it has on your life. Credit card debt is like carrying around a backpack full of bricks everywhere you go. It weighs you down.
It stresses you out. It keeps you from making progress on your goals because every time you think about saving, investing, or giving, that debt is standing in your way, demanding your attention. And let's not even get started on the emotional toll, the anxiety of wondering how you're going to make the payments, the frustration of feeling like you're working hard but never getting ahead,
the guilt of knowing you're stuck in a cycle but not knowing how to break free.
That's not freedom. That's bondage. And you deserve better than that. And here's the sneaky part. Credit card debt doesn't just hurt you in the present. It steals from your future. Every dollar you're paying in interest today is a dollar you're not investing in your future. Think about it. The money you're giving to the credit card companies could be building wealth, growing through compound interest, and setting you up for financial independence. But instead, it's lining the pockets of banks and corporations that couldn't care less about your dream.
The longer you carry that debt, the more it steals from you. And the scariest part, the deeper you get, the harder it becomes to climb out.
But here's the good news. You don't have to stay stuck. You don't have to accept credit card debt as a permanent part of your life. The first step is recognizing it for what it is, danger to your financial health and your peace of mind, and deciding that you're done with it. You're done giving your hard-earned money to credit card companies. You're done living with the stress and anxiety of debt. You're ready to take control and do whatever it takes to get out. And let me tell you, once you make that decision, something shifts. You start to see the possibilities. You start to believe that freedom is within your reach, and you start taking the steps to make it happen. So let's call credit card debt what it really is. Thief. It's stealing your money, your time, and your future. But the moment you decide to stop letting it control your life, the tables turn. You take back your power. You take back your peace, and you start building the kind of life you've always dreamed of. Don't let credit card debt steal one more dollar or more day from you. You're stronger than this. You're smarter than this, and you're capable of breaking free. Let's get to work. You've got this debt snowball method, your game plan for crushing credit card debt. Here's the truth. Getting out of credit card debt isn't complicated, but it does require a plan. You can't just throw money at it randomly and hope for the best. You need a strategy, a proven system that keeps you focused, builds momentum, and gets results. That's where the debt snowball method comes in. This is the method that has helped millions of people take control of their finances and crush their debt once and for all. And let me tell you, it works.
Not just because it's logical, but because it taps into something even more powerful. Motivation.
So what is the debt snowball method? It's simple. First, you list all your debts from smallest to largest balance, regardless of the interest rate. Yes, you heard that right. Smallest to largest, not highest interest rate first.
Why?
Because paying off the smallest debt quickly gives you an emotional win. It's like crossing the first finish line in a race. You get a taste of victory, and it fuels your determination to keep going. Next, you attack that smallest debt with everything you've got. I'm talking about selling stuff, cutting back on expenses, picking up extra work. Whatever it takes to throw as much money as possible at that first debt while paying the minimums on all the others. And when that first debt is gone, you roll its payment into the next debt, like a snowball rolling downhill, gaining speed and size with every turn.
Before you know it, you're crushing your second debt, then your third, and then the rest.
Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Shouldn't I pay off the debt with the highest interest rate first? Isn't that smarter mathematically? Sure, it might be the smartest move on paper, but let me tell you something. Personal finance is 80 behavior and only 20 math. If math were the problem, you wouldn't be in debt in the first place. The debt snowball method works because it's not just about numbers. It's about momentum. Every time you pay off a debt, no matter how small, you get a psychological boost. You start to see progress, and that progress gives you the motivation to keep going. And let me tell you, motivation is everything when you're trying to climb out of the hole of credit card debt. But let's get real. The debt snowball method isn't easy. It requires sacrifice. It requires saying no to things you want today so you can say yes to freedom tomorrow. It might mean skipping the fancy coffee, saying no to eating out, or driving an older car for a while. It might mean selling some things around the house that you don't use or picking up a side hustle to bring in extra cash. But every sacrifice you make is worth it because it brings you closer to the life you really want. The life where your money works for you instead of the other way around. And here's the beautiful thing about the debt snowball method. It works for anyone. It doesn't matter if you've got $1,000 in credit card debt or $50,000. It's the same process. Start small, build momentum, and keep going. And let me tell you, there's nothing more satisfying than seeing those debts disappear one by one.
Imagine logging into your accounts and seeing that first balance go to zero, then the second,
then the third. Each victory builds your confidence and proves to you that you can do this because you can. The debt snowball method isn't just a strategy. It's a mindset shift. It's about taking control of your money and deciding that you're no longer going to let debt dictate your life. It's about proving to yourself that you're capable of more than you ever thought possible. And it's about creating a future where you're free to save, free to invest, free to live the life you've always dreamed of. So are you ready to get started? Because the sooner you start rolling that snowball, the sooner you'll be debt free. Let's make it happen. You've got this how to start your journey out of credit card debt. Practical steps to take today. Let's get down to business. Knowing you need to get out of credit card debt is one thing, but actually doing it, that's where the rubber meets the road. And let me tell you, this isn't about waiting for the stars to align or for life to magically get easier. This is about rolling up your sleeves, getting intentional, and taking action starting today. Because every day you wait is another day your hard-earned money is being siphoned away by interest payments and fees. It's time to take control. It's time to step up. Here's how you do it. The first step is simple but critical. Or even a stand, sit down with a piece of paper, your laptop, or even a spreadsheet, and list every single credit card debt you have. Write down the total balance, the interest rate, and the minimum monthly payment for each one. Seeing it all in black and white might be a little overwhelming at first, but this is your starting point.
this is where you take the problem out of the shadows and put it front and center so you can deal with it head on. And let me tell you, once you have that clear picture, you'll feel a sense of control you haven't felt in a long time. Knowledge is power, and this is where your power begins. Next, it's time to create a zero-based budget. If you've never done this before, don't worry, it's not complicated. A zero-based budget simply means giving every single dollar a job. Start with your income and subtract every expense until you hit zero. And when I say every expense, I mean it: rent, groceries, utilities,
transportation. It all goes on the list. But here's the key. Paying off your debt is now a priority, not an afterthought. That means you budget for the minimum payments on all your debts first. Then throw every extra dollar you can find at the smallest debt in your list. Every coffee you skip, every meal you eat at home, and every impulse buy you avoid gets you closer to freedom. This is the plan, and it's your job to stick to it.
Now let's talk about freeing up extra cash. If you're serious about getting out of debt, it's time to get creative. It's time to get creative. You'll sell stuff. Look around your house. Do you have things lying around that you haven't used in months?
That treadmill collecting dust, those clothes that still have tags on them, or that gaming console you don't touch anymore, sell them. Turn that clutter into cash and throw it at your debt.
Cut back on non-essential spending. Cancel subscriptions you don't use. Skip the drive through. Put a temporary freeze on vacations or luxury purchases.
And if you're still coming up short, pick up extra work, drive for a rideshare service, deliver groceries, babysit, mow lawns, whatever it takes to increase your income and accelerate your progress.
Remember, this isn't forever. It's just for now, and every little bit helps.
One of the most powerful things you can do is automate your payments. Is set up automatic transfers for the minimum payments on all your debts to make sure you never miss a due date.
Late fees are the last thing you need right now, and automation ensures you stay on track.
And when you're ready to make that extra payment on your smallest debt, go ahead and do it manually. That way you can feel the satisfaction of taking control.
It's a small thing, but it makes a big difference in keeping you motivated. And speaking of motivation, let me remind you of what's waiting for you on the other side of this journey. Freedom. Imagine what it will feel like to open your mail and see a $0 balance on every single one of your credit card accounts.
Imagine waking up and knowing that every dollar you earn belongs to you, not to Visa, MasterCard, or American Express. Imagine the relief of no longer feeling like you're drowning in minimum payments or being held hostage by interest rates. That's what you're working toward, and every step you take today brings you closer to that reality.
But let me be clear, this isn't going to be easy. There will be moments when you feel like giving up. There will be temptations to spend money you don't have or to tell yourself it's just one more swipe of the card. But you've got to fight those urges. You've got to keep your eyes on the prize and remind yourself why you're doing this.
This isn't just about paying off debt. It's about taking control of your life. It's about taking control of your life. It's about creating a future where you're not shackled by payments, stress, and regret. It's about freedom, and freedom is worth every sacrifice. So what are you waiting for? Take that first step today. Make your list. Create your budget. Start selling, cutting, and hustling. The road ahead might be tough, but the destination is worth it. You can do this. Let's make it happen. You've got this. You ought to stay motivated while paying off credit card debt. Let's face it. Paying off credit card debt isn't glamorous. It's not something that happens overnight, and it's definitely not always easy. But let me tell you this. The journey is worth it. Every sacrifice, every hard decision, every extra dollar you throw at that debt is bringing you closer to freedom. And when you finally cross that finish line, when you make that last payment and see a big, beautiful $0 balance, it's going to be one of the most rewarding moments of your life.
But to get there, you've got to stay motivated. You've got to keep your eyes on the prize, even when the journey feels long.
Here's how you do it.
First, remind yourself daily of your why.
Why are you doing this? Why are you sacrificing and working so hard to get out of debt? Maybe it's for your family, so your kids can grow up in a home where money isn't a constant source of stress.
Maybe it's for your future so you can retire with dignity instead of worrying about how to make ends meet. Maybe it's for your peace of mind so you can sleep at night without that nagging voice in your head reminding you of the balances you owe.
Whatever your why is, write it down. Put it somewhere you'll see it every day. your bathroom mirror, your fridge, your car dashboard. When things get tough, your why will be the thing that keeps you going.
Next, celebrate the small wins. Look, getting out of debt is a marathon, not a sprint. If you're waiting until the very end to celebrate, you're going to lose steam. Instead, break the journey into milestones and celebrate every time you reach one. Did you pay off your smallest credit card? Amazing. Treat yourself to a small, budget-friendly reward, maybe a nice dinner at home or a movie night with your family. Did you knock out half of your total debt? Fantastic. Celebrate that progress and let it fuel your determination to keep going. Each small win is proof that you're making progress, and progress is motivating. Another way to stay motivated is to track your progress visually. Create a chart, a graph, or even a simple thermometer on a piece of paper where you can color in your progress as you pay off your debt. Hang it somewhere you'll see it often, like on the fridge or in your office.
There's something incredibly satisfying about seeing those numbers go down and knowing that you're getting closer to your goal.
It's a daily reminder that what you're doing is working, and it keeps you focused on the big picture. Now, let's talk about the people in your life. Surround yourself with encouragers, not enablers. If you've got friends who are always pressuring you to spend money you don't have, it's time to set some boundaries. Let them know you're on a mission to get out of debt and that you're making sacrifices to reach your goal. The people who truly care about you will support you. They might even be inspired to start their own journey. And if you don't have anyone cheering you on, find a community. Join a Financial Peace University class, connect with like-minded people online, or team up with a friend who's on a similar path. Having someone in your corner makes a world of difference.
Of course, there will be times when you feel like giving up. Maybe an emergency comes up and you have to pause your debt snowball. Maybe you're tempted to swipe the credit card for something you don't really need. When those moments happen, and they will, remember this, setbacks are temporary. They don't define you, and they don't erase the progress you've made. If you fall off track, don't beat yourself up.
Get back up, refocus, and keep moving forward. The only way you lose is if you quit, and you're not a quitter. You're stronger than that. Lastly, keep your focus on the future you're building. Picture what life will look like when you're debt-free. Imagine waking up without the weight of minimum payments hanging over your head. Imagine being able to save for your future, give generously, and spend without guilt, because every dollar you earn belongs to you. That's the life you're working toward, and it's closer than you think. Every sacrifice you make today is an investment in that future. Every payment you make is a step closer to the freedom you deserve. So here's my challenge to you. Don't let discouragement steal your momentum. Don't let the slow pace of progress make you doubt yourself. You're doing the hard work, and it's paying off. Stay focused, stay disciplined, and stay motivated, because the day is coming when you'll look back at this journey and say, I did it. I took control, and I changed my life. And let me tell you, that day is going to feel amazing. Keep going. You've got this. Take action today. Your debt-free life starts now. This is it. This is the moment where everything changes. You've learned why getting out of credit card debt matters. You've seen how dangerous it can be, and you've got a plan in your hand. But none of that means anything if you don't take action. You can sit here and feel inspired. You can imagine what your life will look like without debt. But if you don't take the first step, nothing will change. And let me be clear. Waiting doesn't make the problem go away. Hoping it'll get better on its own won't magically fix it. You've got to make the decision today, right now, that you're done living with debt and you're ready to fight your way out. It's not going to be easy, but it will be worth it. And trust me, you're stronger than you think. Here's the thing about taking action. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to have every detail figured out before you start. You just need to take that first step. Maybe it's sitting down tonight to make a list of your debts. Maybe it's creating your first zero-based budget. Maybe it's calling a friend and saying, hey, I'm getting out of debt and I need some accountability. Whatever your first step is, take it today. Because every step forward, no matter how small, brings you closer to freedom. And let me tell you, once you start moving, the momentum will build. You'll feel a sense of control you haven't felt in a long time, and that feeling will push you to keep going. Let's talk about what's waiting for you on the other side of this journey. Imagine a life where you don't owe a single dime to credit card companies. Imagine what it would feel like to open your paycheck and realize that every single dollar belongs to you, not Visa, not MasterCard, not Discover. That's freedom. That's the life you're working toward. A life where you can save for the future, invest for retirement, give generously, and spend guilt-free. A life where you're no longer weighed down by stress, anxiety, and regret. That life is within your reach, but you've got to work for it. And let me tell you, it's worth every ounce of effort. But let's be real. The road ahead isn't going to be easy. There will be sacrifices. There will be moments when you're tempted to quit, when the progress feels too slow, or when you're tempted to fall back into old habits. That's why it's so important to stay focused on your why. Keep that vision of your debt-free life at the forefront of your mind. Remind yourself daily that you're doing this for a reason, for your family, for your future, for your peace of mind. And when the journey feels tough, remember that every sacrifice you're making now is temporary. The freedom you're building is forever.
Here's what I know about you. You've got what it takes to do this. You wouldn't be here if you didn't. You're smart enough, disciplined enough, and determined enough to take control of your finances and change your life.
Don't let fear, doubt, or procrastination hold you back. The only thing standing between you and a debt-free life is the decision to start. So make that decision to start. So make that decision today. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Start where you are, use what you have, and take that first step.
And let me leave you with this. You are not alone in this. Millions of people have faced the same challenges you're facing right now, and they've come out the other side stronger, wiser, and free.
You can be one of them. You just have to believe in yourself, trust the process, and stay the course. Your debt-free life is closer than you think. It's waiting for you, and all you have to do is take that first step. Let's go. You've got this.